Another issue that happened this year, it's another major issue, your state and local taxes are going way up, so that's going up. Another issue that you might want to be very, very much aware of is that as you start to look at a lot of these other industries and what happened, Walmart just closed 300 stores.
Okay, I speak to this. The oil industry is canary in coal mine. In other words, the reason oil is down is because everybody else is down too, and that pulls oil down. But oil is what you say.
Brad, if I could help you with that answer.
Yeah, go ahead.
In the oil industry, with all of a sudden now, because of the price of oil and the glut, the drillers have stopped drilling. So when the drillers stop drilling, they stop buying pipe. There's a pipe plant out in Ohio that 9 months ago laid off 900 people. So it affects the steel industry, and it's like a rippling effect. And like there were hotels built up in the Marcellus area. I'm friends with Jay Cleveland, owns Cleveland Brothers. CAT has been a majorly affected on those areas. It's a huge rippling effect.
I see it now. It's not so much the oil industry is taking it. I mean, that's not what's causing it. But in other words, if everybody needed fuel, and the economy, every other industry was full steam ahead, the price of oil would be $70 a pound. Since, in other words, the price of oil is like the harbinger, what shows, what you see. The only reason it's that low is because every other industry is down.
Well, there's one major factor right now that people aren't talking about. Saudi Arabia, in beginning of 2015, had $750 billion in cash. And they basically said to the rest of the world and the U.S. oil producers, we are going to put you guys out of business. So last year, they lowered the prices and they allowed oil to be drilled like there's no tomorrow. And the Saudis burned through $110 billion in cash. And they have staying power. And what's happening is that U.S. companies don't have the cash that these guys have sat on for a year. And honestly, for the last 4 years, we made Saudi Arabia very, very wealthy. I mean, this is the world economy that we talk about that we're in. This is troubling for everyone.
And let me just address really come right on top of it, because at the same time the Federal Reserve is fueling this, so the stock market is not a real value. The stock market is where it is because the Federal Reserve, the stock market today is where the housing industry was in '08. And the minute the interest rates start going up, so when you put all these, and Senator Wagner is right on the money, when you start looking at it's called the circular flow of income, you start pulling one peg out, it's like what happened. But you need to be aware, are you aware that the '08 and '09 financial debacle in the United States started with oil as well? Are you aware of that? But the same thing happened in '08 and '09 to oil. This is not good. The ripple effect, I used to be a supplier to Cleveland Brothers. And what happens is that when you start pulling that stuff out, the pipe goes down and all that, it starts a ripple effect. Do you remember Dana Corporation? Whenever you had situations happen in the oil field, the ripple effect to International Harvester, to Kenworth, to Volvo, to Mack Truck, now Volvo, that spillover effect is just ripples throughout this whole area. So it's a real ripple effect, and it's never just one thing, but it just should tell you it's the house of cards. Remember when I made the comment that when Chicago trips, then everybody will start thinking through this? It's the same thing with oil. When oil tripped, it started people to think. When Chicago trips, people will think. Senator Wagner, I guarantee you, Senator Wagner's going to win. The problem is that by the time the governor wakes up and President Obama wakes up, 3 years is a long time, we may be settling the budget for this year by the time Governor Wolf is leaving office. So I mean, it's a big deal, but this is a real serious issue. So go back to the issue is stay out of debt, build your cash reserves, and help one another. You know, actually, in this area, I do trust the banks because the new Basel III credit standards are very stringent, and the banks have rebuilt their reserves, and they learned a powerful lesson, and they're not letting the Federal Reserve push them around the way they used to. So I would tell you, the banks are, particularly in this area, we've got some pretty good banks in this area. And again, one last comment on the book. The reason for this is what you're seeing, as Senator Wagner said, the state funding and the funding to help kids with disabilities is plummeting. So I'm really trying to raise awareness. If you know somebody in a family with disabilities, tell me you got a whole group of people that are fighting nationwide to develop a faith-based solution to solve this problem. You guys have been great. Thanks for your time, mate.
Now, I'm sure the anticipation is building. Everyone wants to see if they're a winner tonight. You're going to have to wait 1 Miller minute. I'm giving him 1 minute. If not, I'm tossing him off the stage. Why?
House cleaning. Couple of things in order, real quickly. First of all, you don't want me to announce it, so the check is in the hand, but Senator Wagner is putting some major money into the effort for the SB 76 effort with Dean Klopp, as well as our effort. And putting his money where his mouth is his kind, my kind of guy, so thank you, Senator Wagner. PLC, a lot of us, some of us go to the PLC every year, the Pennsylvania Leadership Conference, first week in April. If anybody wants to be on the mailing list to keep track of what's going on, give your name to Judy before you leave. This main speaker this year is Judge Napolitana, and also Stephen Moore is going to also be a keynote speaker. Let's see, I want to tell you something else that he told me privately, but I'm going to put the word out. Lancaster area has been doing well with their conservative constitutionalists, Senator Wagner and Senator Fulmer. We can add to that list. Candidate Frank Ryan is running for the 101 House District. Yeah. So I don't like in that whole area. Finally, he's still back there for his book signing, that at the end of the evening, he'll hang around until anybody that wants to purchase his book, please feel free to do so. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the announcements. Now, it seems that Mark and Kim Gillen have snuck out of the room, haven't they? They have to relieve their babysitters. Well, they just put me in a dilemma. We always have a child here every evening, or every meeting, and tonight we don't have one. So I don't have a child to pick from, so I went over to Mark and Kim, and everywhere they go, they always have one of those 6 girls with them. And tonight, they actually had a night to get out. They didn't have one, so I was going to put Kim Gillen on the spot. But she snuck away. So, I think a good friend of mine, Esther Libby, is going to have to come up to the platform here. Esther, we need you. Now, we do want a 10-minute speech from you. Okay, come on.
Is this going to take long?
No, this won't take long.
I mean, for her to get there.
Oh. Okay. If you don't already know, this is Charlie Miller. This is who you'll be seeing if you win a firearm tonight. You cannot take it with you. You'll make arrangements with Charlie to go down and pick it up. You have to do your FBI background check or whatever they do, or your state police background check and everything. So, we have all the tickets here. We did sell them all. So, to make this unbiased, Charlie, you shake them. Keep it up high so Esther can't see in there. And the first thing we're going to draw for is the Stevens 520 12-gauge pump shotgun. No peeking. Okay. The winner. You ready? Bill Gaiman, are you here? Oh, bummer. Throw it back. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Bill Gaiman, is somebody writing this down?
Yes, thanks, got it.
Okay, ticket number 110.
Spell it.
Pardon me?
Spell the name.
G-E-H-M-A-N. Bill Gaiman.
B-I-L-L.
Okay. The second drawing is for the Maverick 12-gauge pump shotgun. Right there. And that is for, wow. Whoever wrote this, it must be Rod Miller's relative because I can't read it. It looks like it says, Perfect Klaus? Ciao? Who lives at 1201 Whitfield Boulevard, West Lawn? Anybody in this room? Okay, it looks like it says Perfect Klaus. It's ticket number 095. No, it's not Perfetto. I don't know.
Call the number right now.
Well, we'll call them, but really, if you see this, it looks like Rod Miller wrote this, so. If any of you ever seen Rod Miller's writing, you'd understand his own wife of 50 years can't read what he writes, so that's pretty bad. Okay, the next drawing is for the Taurus 9mm carbine. And that is Anthony Crisafucci. Crisafucci. Is he here? Wow, okay. That is ticket 150. Okay. Now, the one that everybody wants is the Taurus 40 caliber pistol, which is the next drawing. And that goes to Paul Brooker. Is he here?
No way.
Ticket 047. That is the winners of the gun raffle. But wait, you haven't lost yet. We have 2 consolation prizes. You may go back and pick from the table. Shirt, hat, sign, whatever you want. So, the first winner is Shirley Moser, who I know happens to be in Florida right now. So, Shirley, if you're going to look at the recording, you want a shirt when you get back. Hers is Paul Brooker's 047 t-shirt, Shirley Moser's 072. And Karen Lundy, is she here? All right, well, you may go back and pick whatever you want from the table there, Karen. And that's ticket 057. We would like to thank everybody for participating in the gun raffle. If you did not win, I'm sorry. I think I took all the luck. I didn't get any tickets this time because I didn't want to win all the ones. But, thank you for participating. I do want to make an announcement here myself. On January 26th, right here, our Republican politicians are going to be here to meet with you and do petition signing. And it's from 6 to 8 p.m. They will have food and refreshments. If you are interested in going, you see Judy Pelka there. They're just trying to get a head count for buying food and stuff like that. Judy Pelka is standing right there in front of Jake. She will take your name and fill it in Bonnie Stock, the chairwoman of the GOP. And don't forget, next month, Christian Leinbach, if you're worried about what goes on in local politics and how the state affects you, Christian has a whole lot to tell you about the mandates at Harrisburg. Hey, you guys in the back, hold on. Christian has a lot to tell you about mandates in Harrisburg and how they actually affect your pocket right here in Berks County and affect you in the county. And it will be very interesting. And also Jim Smith will be talking about the new Fairness Act. Does anybody have any idea what that is? Well, I think it will turn your stomach when you understand what it's all about. If you have a transgendered child, a male child who thinks he's a girl, he will be allowed to go in the locker room with your daughters in the school and use the bathroom, the same one they do. And they're trying to push this law on us right now. I don't think it's a Fairness Act. I think it's an Abomination Act myself. So, and I got one more announcement to make. Everybody who was elected last month has retained their same position, with the exception, come up here, he's walking away, Mr. Sam Brancadora, who's standing right there, has moved up to the vice chairman position. So Deb and I are leaving. We will see you in a couple of months. So everything that goes wrong is Sam's fault, okay? While we're gone. So thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next month.